Never fear, I am here. Hola. Whew. Excuse me. Who's with me tonight? Don't be strangers. Say hey. Go hey. I'm cold. Well, where is everybody? Hello? There you are, Missy. How is you? Did you have a good day? Good. Oh, what a pretty sunset. Let's see if I can fix this lighting so it's not so bad. Ooh, no. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Did you listen to that that recording I sent you? Oh, so funny. So funny. Oh, that was like the third time we had gotten her to say that, talk about that. And I was snorting, I was laughing, I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh. And each time she'd tell that story, I finally got to record it. And each time she'd tell the story, she'd tell it a different way and a little bit better and a little bit. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh, I got to record this for when she gets bigger. She is going to die. It was hilarious. So hilarious. All right, ladies, let's go ahead and get started. So tonight's book's called Magnolia. She is a Georgia girl too. I'm like, yes, but she's in New York, so she's in upstate New York. But she is a Georgia girl. And she's a Georgia girl with magic. So there's the sexy cover. The cover is hot. Oops. Get my fat fingers. All right, let's get started. There it is. Magnolia. All righty. By Melissa Adams. This is part of that spell library. The I can't remember the last book I read of hers. But the girl had It's a reverse harem. She had like 5 different boyfriends. And the teacher was after her and all this stuff. So, all right. Prologue, Magnolia. Sugar honey spice tea. Friggin' Tinder will be the death of me. I was about to flip the last pancake, but the buzzing of my phone startled me and made my scalding hot breakfast land on the delicate skin of my chest. Stop complaining and check it out, Jen says, stepping into our small kitchen and grabbing my phone before I can get to it. You've got another match nearby. He looks cute. I groan, ignoring the phone and grabbing the still hot pancake between my fingertips and dropping it in the trash can. The skin on my chest is red and sensitive, and I know I have to cool it down to avoid blisters. I open the kitchen tap, using my hand to put cold water to my injury and throw a side glance to my bestie who's busy checking out the Tinder notification. You better not be swapping right, Jen. I'm not going on another Tinder date. I'm blooming done. Dunsky. My best friend has a shit-eating grin on her face, trying to hide the guilt that I'm sure must be consuming her. Too late, dude. I'm already did. But look, this one's definitely your type. All intellectual and even has a man bun. I bet he drinks coconut water and makes his own trail mix and, okay, shut up, you bitch. I say, struggling to contain the laughter that threatens to erupt from me. I just thought I'd try to date the total opposite of my ex. Can you really blame me? Jen shrugs. Look, you might need to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince, Mags. I'm just trying to help you look around the pond. I can't contain an eye roll. Look, I've tried everything, but there seems to be only one type I really attract. The douche. I swear that every single guy out there is either crazy, a weirdo, or an asshole. And my latest dates are proof of that. Jen giggles. Oh, come on. Jonathan wasn't so bad. I shake my head. Wasn't he? What the heck did you put on this stupid profile you made me for Tinder to match me with a guy who poses as a rapper, but he's not? Jonathan was ridiculous. Seriously. Plus, trying to look like Eminem might have been cool when my mom was our age, Jen. The guy greeted me with, "Yo, remember?" She remembers because she now laughs without trying to hide it or play it down. Okay, I'll admit he was a little colorful. I sit down trying to snatch my phone back from her grasp, but she moves it out of the way. Colorful? He was wearing one of those huge gold-plated knuckle rings that spanned the width of his whole hand, and it spelled out the word pussy. And before you say that I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, Jonathan had the worst table manners I've ever seen. He cost me my favorite dress. Jen has the decency to look guilty at the mention of my favorite dress. I met Jonathan at Bonelli's, the nicest Italian restaurant in Silver Springs, and when I arrived, my date was already sitting at our table, munching on the complimentary prosciutto. Let alone the fact that he kept talking while chewing. He was making a real mess, dropping chunks of oily tomato everywhere, and making loud smacking noises with his mouth at every bite. After about 10 minutes of that torture, I concluded that things between me and Jonathan were never going to work, and excused myself to the bathroom with the intention of sneaking out the back door. But I hadn't anticipated that Jonathan didn't just have atrocious table manners. He was also a far cry from a gentleman. When I walked past him trying to leave our table, he had blurted out, "Damn, bitch. Damn, you're a sexy bitch. I'm going to nail that ass later on." and he grabbed my buttocks with both of his hands, leaving two perfect oily handprints on the stretchy cotton of my favorite emerald green dress. No amount of stain treatment or dry cleaning succeeded in erasing the memory of that date. Okay, my bad, Jen admits, but Jordan is totally on you. I whimper at the memory of my 2 dates with Jordan. Yeah, maybe the intellectual type isn't for me as much as the varsity football player isn't my Prince Charming. I'm obviously referring to my ex boyfriend and high school sweetheart who couldn't handle a long distance relationship when I moved from my hometown of Marietta, Georgia to Silver Springs to get my nursing degree. Trip stayed behind, and I'd gone home at every holiday for the 3 years I've been here in upstate New York. Maybe the fact that he never came to visit should have been a clue. Or maybe the fact that he would only find time for me during my visits when he wanted to have sex. And then he would drag me out with his friends and barely talk to me. Jim must have guessed where my mind went because she hugs me and rubs my back in a soothing manner. No, don't even think about him. Trip was a bastard. He didn't deserve you, Max. From cheating on you to being selfish in bed and never ever giving you an orgasm? I hate that motherfucker. All right. But you need to stop trying to fix guys, Max. Jordan is proof of that. She's right. I should have seen the train wreck potential in Jordan from a mile away. The disaster that ensued from swiping right on him is totally on me. But when I saw the match, I thought he was cute in a nerdy Big Bang Theory kind of way. And since he was cute since I was trying to stay away from the athletic douchey jocks like Trip, I felt immediately hopeful about Jordan, so I sent him a smile emoji. He replied and we started messaging on the app, but soon after, I agreed to a phone call. I should have known when he gave me a pre-date interview on the phone. I saw. Jen shakes her dark head. Her tone is half commiserating and half frustrated. Or maybe you should have known when the phone interview turned out to be a 25-question psych evaluation test to determine if you were serious relationship material. Touche. That should have made me run to the hills. I know. I just thought it was kind of sweet that he wanted something serious. But red flags did start to pop in the back of my mind when he came to pick me up carrying a potted plant. It was a magnolia sapling. Jordan gave me the pot with a solemn expression, probably feeling smart because he gave me magnolias and my name is Magnolia. And then proceeded to explain how that plant was a symbol of our blossoming relationship and how I should take care of it and nurture it in the same way I would him. Okay, you're right, Jen. I should have not gone out with him when he gave me the plant. A man that gives you a potted plant on your first date isn't bound to be a good fuck. She clarifies. And I mean, she's right. And truth be told, I should have never even gone out with him in the first place. Yeah, I can't even choose a hookup that doesn't end up at the police station filing a complaint. Jen sighs. You had no way to know that Jordan wouldn't take no for an answer when you decided against a second date and would start stalking you. Yep, that happened. Jordan camped out by my house for 2 whole days, and Jen had to call the cops the first time. I thought she was overreacting, but understood the seriousness of the situation when he showed up at the hospital. He was sitting in the waiting room at the ER with a knife. Yes, I kid you not. Stabbed through the palm of his left hand. His words to me were, Magnolia, I'm bleeding for you. I stabbed myself in the hand so you could take care of me, but you really stabbed me in the heart. But where you really stabbed me is in the heart. My heart is bleeding for you. If that's not enough to show you my love, you'll be the next one I'll have to stab. And that was definitely enough. I called the cops and then filed a complaint. And because Jordan had shown up at the hospital, that was more than enough for a restraining order against him. God, that was so much blood, Jen. Talking about blood, there was also Alaric. He had been so charming and chivalrous, the perfect gentleman, so much so that we did go on a second date. Maybe the fact that he had insisted on meeting after dark both times should have tipped me off. But there are a lot of people who work during the day, right? I know, right? The first date was at a Mexican restaurant, and then we went to V for drinks and had a blast. The second date was a movie, and then we went for a drive. We started making out in his car, and things were definitely looking up until he bit me. I rub my neck at the memory of it, and Jen shakes her head. Alaric, right? To be honest, I don't really blame you. He was hot, and you had no way of knowing that he was a total wacko loony. Seriously, Jen, I'm starting to think I'm jinxed and that I'll end up baking peach cobblers for the nursing home one day and burn the whole damn place down in the process. Jen covers my hand with hers in a friendly support. Look, I'm sorry, babe, but we had no way to know that Alaric thought he was a vampire. I scoffed. I would have even gone for hot sex with a sexy supernatural being, but my dumb luck made it so that didn't meet my very own Damon Salvatore or Eric Northman. No, I had to meet the only son of a bee sting who is delusional enough to think that he's a vampire. He had his flippin' teeth filed like things. No, ma'am. I had to meet the only vampire on this wretched earth who is embarrassed about who he is and wanted to become a vegetarian. Jen can't stop a laugh. Yeah, but you were too delicious for him to resist you, babe. Or he thought that dating a future nurse would give him access to the town's blood bank. I even had to confront him about his failure to stay away from blood. Jen, I seriously think that I'm destined to end up alone. Even my own mother says that I'll end up like a crazy cat lady or something. She says it's my punishment for letting Tripp slip away when I decided to come home to Silver Springs. Jen disagrees wholeheartedly. That's some bullshit right there. So she'd rather you be married to a cheating scumbag with a small dick who could never ever even make it good for you. Maybe having already popped out 2 babies while Tripp works at his dad's car dealership. And the height of the decade would be your high school reunion where people would secretly be sorry for you for marrying the school quarter QB who peaked in high school. When she puts it that way. No, Mags. You did the right thing by dumping his... No, Mags. You did the right thing by dumping his cheating ass and coming here to chase your dreams. Think about it. If you hadn't, we'd never met. I hugged my best friend. Some of her attempts to help might be misguided and even backfire a little, but she means well. I'm glad I met you, Jenny. She nods. Damn straight. Now, remember that love is overrated and we aren't necessarily looking for Mr. Right. Mr. Right now will be just as good as long as he's satisfactory in the dick department. In other words, we get laid and we get you off. We get you laid and we get you off. I go along with it because, to be honest, I still feel a bit raw from Tripp's betrayal, even if it's been 6 months since I surprised him for Christmas and I found him in bed with his next door neighbor. So maybe she isn't totally wrong that I should play the field and not jump into anything serious right now. Right. So, who's the latest match? I asked, noticing that she hasn't given me my phone after swiping right on my behalf. Well, since you didn't like Man Bun, I found you another one. This looks really promising. I swiped right and sent him a smile and an eggplant emoji. What? Why? Do you even know what the eggplant emoji means? Now he'll think I'm after his. She laughs. Why aren't you? We've just said we're after a hookup. Jen shows me the screen. There's a tall, muscular guy. This is what I would do to Nina in a heartbeat, y'all. I'm just saying. No, it'd probably go the other way around, wouldn't it? Either way, we'd probably do it to each other. There's a tall, muscular guy. He has dark brown hair and bright blue eyes. He looks vaguely familiar, but I can't quite place him. I must have seen him around town. Officer Hunk? What kind of name is that? Jen smirks at me. Does it really matter? Look at those abs. They're clearly visible under that tight t-shirt. Guy's got a 12-pack. Seriously drool worthy. I smile at her attempt to encourage me. What would you know about that? You bat for the other team. Jen looks totally unconcerned by my remark. So, I'm gay, not blind. And I don't know, but I have a hunch that Officer Hunk will be tons of fun. And you know what? If all else fails, I swear you won't become a crazy cat lady. For which, by the way, you should start by getting a cat. But remember our deal, Mags. If we get to 40 and neither of us has found the one, we get married. I accept her hug and wish, not for the first time, that I were into girls or that Jen was a guy. Yeah, there's no chance you won't find the one, Jen. You're too awesome. Damn right, and so are you. And hot, Mags. You're smoking hot. So I shall be the lucky one to be your wife one day, even if it were just platonic. I love you, Jen, I say, and then giggle at the idea of taking my new wife to meet my parents. I can only imagine what my mom and dad would say if I married a girl. She shrugs, grabbing my purse on her way to her first day at a new job. Yeah, well, you know what? At the risk of sounding like you, if they don't like it, bless their hearts. Chapter 1, Glitter, Cupcakes, and Flying Dildos. Yes, I just said that, girls. Magnolia. Jen leaves to go to work, and I thank God because she's wearing my mouth out. It's hard to do that high-pitched voice. Jen leaves to go to work, and I decide to go for a run. Running or jogging is what I do to clear my head, and I think I'm definitely in need of that. I'm not mad at Jen for making fun of my southern slang. I got her point. I have to get this dating situation under control, and she picked up on the fact I was getting stressed and tried to make light of it. I made a conscious effort to speak like folks do around here when I first moved, uncomfortable with the looks the locals used to give me for my colorful drawl, like Jen called it. I mostly got the hang of it, but when I'm worried or upset, it comes right back out. And what do you know? My mom called last night to tell me that Tripp's gotten engaged to the same person he cheated with. Well, the one I knew of. The point is that my mother's tone was laced with judgment. And no, hold your blooming horses, y'all. She was not judging him for being a cheating asshole. No, ma'am. She was judging me for not being able to keep my man. She's always been against my career choice, and especially the decision to move to Silver Springs to study. But then I never would have met you, Frankie Panky, isn't it, baby boy? I pick up the puppy Jen and I bought a week ago, stroking his silky hair. Frank is an adorable Yorkshire Terrier, and I can't believe that I'd never thought about having a dog before. Jen started teasing me that if all else fails, rather than a crazy cat lady, I could become a crazy dog lady. She started calling me CDL, Crazy Dog Lady, because of the way I fell head over heels in love for this fuzzy little baby. But it's impossible to resist Frank's brown beady eyes and his sweet puppy kisses, so I know she's just as smitten with him as I am. At first, the puppy wags his tail, happy for the attention, but then I notice that his ears are down and he's not meeting my gaze in his typical guilty expression. What have you done, little boy? Please don't tell me you stole Jen's slipper again. Yeah, the youngin' is a little thief. He'll take anything shiny or Jen's slippers or my socks and hide them in his bed. Jen refers to him as the magpie. I walk toward Frank's dog bed in the living room, but then I smell it before I see it. We're trying to potty train him, but the puppy hasn't gotten the hang of pooping outside yet and leaves his smelly surprises in the most random places. Where did you... I stop in my tracks, struggling to believe what's in front of my eyes. Frank did poop by the patio door that leads to the garden, and the door is closed, so he deserves kudos for trying to do the right thing. But, okay, this is weird. It definitely smells like poop. The shape suggests it's poop, but it's shiny and sparkly as if it were covered in glitter. Lena, does that remind you of purple poop? I take a closer look, my nose twitching at the smell, and then look at Frank, who, now aware of the fact that his crime has been discovered, looks even guiltier than before. What's wrong with you, little guy? This is not normal. Did you eat anything dodgy? The puppy looks at me with... Where's my drink? There it is. No vodka tonight, y'all. Just my pink lemonade. What's wrong with you, little guy? This is not normal. Did you eat anything dodgy? The puppy looks at me with an unsure expression, tilting his head as if trying to make sense of my question. I try to think where the glitter could be coming from, but I have absolutely no idea. There's nothing in the house that Frank could have gotten into that would make him poop glitter. Maybe I should ring the pet store and see if they know anything. I decide that this is the best course of action and walk back to the kitchen to get my phone. Frank goes to hide in his dog bed, and I eye him worriedly, trying to spy any signs of illness, but finding none. The puppy just looks very worried about having had an accident. I dial the pet store's number, but there's no answer. So I decide to go ahead and go running and maybe jog by the place while I'm out and ask Kaluna in person. I set my phone back on the kitchen table and head to my room to get changed into my running shoes. But the buzzing of the phone startles me again, making me jump with a little squeak. Darn, I need to stop being so jumpy. I brace myself for another tender notification, but realize with sudden relief that it's just a text from Jen. Jen, hey, sweetie, I left my lunch in the fridge. Would you be a superstar and come bring it to me? The shop I work at is called the Magical Rooster. You really can't miss it. I agree to bring her the lunch and decide to surprise Jen with one of her favorite unicorn cupcakes and maybe get myself a treat too while I'm at it. Buttercup makes the most delicious cronuts I've ever had. It's my day off today, so a treat would be just what the doctor ordered. I smile at the thought while I change into a pair of leggings and a white tank top. As doctors go, there's a new one in the ER that's just so handsome you'd think you're stuck in a medical TV show, and he's an actor rather than a real MD. He started around last Christmas, but I've had no chance to talk to him, or to be more exact, I run in the opposite direction every time I see him. I've never told Jen, or I wouldn't hear the end of it, because she says that the biggest part of my problem is that my friendly, bubbly personality literally evaporates whenever I'm around any guy I find remotely attractive. This is why she signed me up for Tinder, so I wouldn't have to take the first step, but the app would do it for me. I sigh, putting my earbuds in and going to check that Frank has water before leaving the house. I also scoop up the glitter poop and bag it, deciding to take it with me to show Kaluna. I need to, right? If someone told me that their dog pooped glitter, I would think they're insane. My thoughts go back to Jen and to her assessment of my shyness. She makes things sound easy, but this is the thing. She's a serial dater, so she's used to putting herself out there. I mean, from the only relationship I've ever been in to single quite unexpectedly, and since Trip was my high school sweetheart, I never really experienced dating. And let me tell you that so far, dating sucks. It's too stressful, and men are downright weird these days. Hallelujah. Amen. They expect you to hook up with them without really taking time to get to know you. Amen. I keep thinking about my bad luck when it comes to dating while I jog around Silver Springs in the late summer morning, enjoying the crisp air that last night's summer storm left behind. No doubt it'll get scorching hot again soon, but for now, I run enjoying the friendly feel of this small town. No way I would be able to run outside of Marietta, Georgia's weather is way too hot, humid to do that. Believe me, Marietta is like an hour and a half from me, y'all. So yeah, it's very humid right now. My first stop is Beastie Beasties, the pet store where I bought Frank. I run in front of the store window, noticing the open sign and trying to see if Kaluna is around. I spot her in clear view of the window, busy cleaning some of the cages where the small animals are kept. Kaluna is extremely pretty. I think entering the pet shop and observing her long dark hair and her voluptuous figure wrapped in black skinny jeans. The shop owner's good looks are one of the reasons why we ended up with Frankie in the first place, I think, with a smile. Last week, Jen and I were walking around town on our way back from home from a study session in the library, and my bestie stopped in front of this very window. Wow, she goes, look at that girl in the pet store. She's hot. So she entered the store with the intention to flirt with the owner, and I followed her in because I'm an excellent wing woman. I might be useless with my own love life, but I've helped Jen get a date countless times. Of course, I could never predict that we'd leave the store with a puppy. That says a lot about the owner's cunning abilities when it comes to her trade. I open the door and Kaluna notices and recognizes me immediately. Hey, good morning, Magnolia, right? How can I help you? She asked solicitously, rushing to change the newspaper at the bottom of the hamster cage she was cleaning and closing the cage. Was that glitter all over the dirty newspaper? I think, shaking my head. I try to look at the discarded paper, but Kaluna has already disposed of it in a black trash bag that she's now holding close. I'm not entirely sure if that was glitter or if my eyes were playing tricks on me. Between finals fast approaching and the shifts at the hospital, I admit that I've been burning the candle at both ends. I need some real downtime very soon. Being tired isn't helping my natural klutziness. I keep dropping things, forgetting stuff. It's getting bad. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the puppy Jen and I bought from you a few days ago. Sure thing. Just give me a second to wash my hands. Kaluna disappears through a door behind the counter, and I walk around the room looking at the various animals on display. There's some really colorful fish in multiple tanks against one wall, and I'm drawn to their vibrant colors and the peaceful way they swim. I'm mesmerized by a tank with a few clownfish, the same type as in the Nemo movie. I stand there observing them until, mother of pearl! I cuss when the fish poops a small cloud of glitter that expands in the clear water of the tank. What the? Thinking about buying a fish? Kaluna returns from the back, looking completely relaxed and normal, as if one of the pets she sells didn't just poop glitter. I point at the tank, looking at the shop owner, but she doesn't say anything, a relaxed smile on her face. Are you telling me that you didn't just see that? I ask, a little bewildered by her calm demeanor. That fish just pooped glitter. I mean, forgive me for stating the obvious here, but dang, the woman stands there as cool as a cucumber, waiting for my next move, as if the glitter situation was completely ordinary. This is why I'm here, I explained. Frank, the puppy you sold me, he just did the same thing this morning. His poop was glittery. I keep pointing my finger at the tank, but if I expected any sort of reaction, I guess I'm sorely disappointed. You seem like a girl that likes glitter. Well, yeah, I do like glitter, but that's beside the point. Is that normal? I mean, Kaluna smiles at me and I'm really mesmerized by the brightness in her eyes. Is there anything else that's unusual about your puppy? She asks, and I shake my head, unable to look away. Well, then, glitter is better than something worse. If it keeps happening, come back and I'll fix it. I thank her and walk out the store, feeling strangely calm and confused at the same time. Maybe my sugar is low, I think. A cronut might fix all my issues. The pink door of Buttercup's bake shop is enough to make me instantly feel back to my normal self. I step into the bakery feeling instantly welcome, and I can't help but feel my mouth water at the sight of the delicious treats on display in a clear glass case that serves as a counter. There's every kind of donut one could dream of, several pastries and cupcakes, and on one side of a few cakes that are as beautiful as I'm sure they'll be delicious. Buttercup is one of the most talented bakers I've ever seen, an artist almost. I love your kindness. I love her kindness. I've never seen her not smile at her customers. And she's got the same attention to detail that she puts in her delicious creations when it comes to the customer experience. A couple of weeks ago, it was Jen's birthday, and Buttercup sent us my bestie's favorite cupcakes as a gift, a treat she rewards all her loyal customers with. Morning, Magnolia. She greets me, closing a paperback she was reading and setting it down on the counter. Her smile reaches her gray blue eyes as she asks me if I'd like my usual, reaching for her tablet to record my purchase. Yes, please, a cronut and 3 unicorn cupcakes, I asked, deciding to buy extra in case Jen has coworkers she'd like to share with. Buttercup busies herself packing my baked treats, and my eyes land on the paperback she was reading. The cover has pastel colors. There's a girl on it in flowery panties, surrounded by several guys. I've never heard of the author C.C. Pine. The title seems very fitting to the cover. Love Blooms. I point to the paperback. Is that any good? Buttercup blushes and then nods with a smile. It is a very steamy story, that's for sure. I was actually rereading it. It's a library book, and I just realized that I forgot to return it. I'm not sure I'll make it on time today either. The shop is very busy these days. It's busy because your creations are as beautiful as they are delicious. I compliment her, making her blush reappear. I don't know why, but I feel drawn to the book, and maybe a steamy story is what I need to get some inspiration for tonight's Tinder date. So I offer to return the book for her. I'm a fast reader anyway, and I have the whole afternoon to read and relax. Would you really return it for me? That would be so kind. Absolutely, Buttercup. I go to the library to study all the time, so it'll be no bother. Buttercup hands me the paperback with a soft smile. You're always so kind, Magnolia. Thank you. Your treats today are on the house. And that's what I mean when I say that Buttercup is an amazing at customer service. She just made my day with a book and free cupcakes. I thank her and reassure her that I'll be back soon for more of her delicious stuff. I jog out of the bakery, setting the book in the bag on top of the box with the baked treat. And my phone pings with another text from Jen. Jen. Hey, babes, when you get here with my lunch, ask June about a bag I've set aside for you. You'll thank me later. I hurry along, curious about what Jen could have for me. The Magical Rooster is my next stop. I've never been to visit Jen at work, and my jaw drops when I see what kind of shop the Magical Rooster is. An adult shop. I hesitate for a second, but then I push the door open and step inside. I've never been to a shop like this one, but I admit I've always been curious about it. A fluttering of wings startles me and almost causes me to drop the cupcakes as I lift my head to look at what's flying around my head. Holy guacamole! I curse when I notice that it's flying dildos. I've never seen anything like it. But I guess this is appropriate for the theme of the shop after all, so maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. My curiosity has the best of me, and I keep looking at the dildos, noticing that some are made of glass and some have gossamer wings that flutter softly as the dildos circle me as if they were animated somehow, as if they were sniffing me. Come on in, a brunette girl says in a kind customer service voice. She looks a little tense at first, but her shoulders relax as I smile at her. She's obviously good at her job and knowledgeable about her stock because she beckons me to the counter with an almost conspiratorial look. There's no way, there's no one else here right now except us girls. Let's start with the basics. Something easy and simple and perfect for a young lady. A vibrator. A vibrator. I feel heat rise to my cheeks, but my curiosity has the best of me, and I eye the merchandise displayed everywhere. I was just looking for Jen, I say, taking a hesitant step toward what I'm guessing is Jen's boss. I'm her roommate. She said she had something for me, but I didn't think she was talking about a. My words die in my mouth as my eyes land on a shelf of butt plugs. Oh, yes. God help me out. The lady starts telling me about them, making my embarrassment skyrocket, and I have to avert my gaze, not to giggle nervously. Those are one of our best sellers. The self-cleaning and sterilizing butt plugs. Oh, yes, please. They come with a variety of flared ends, including jewels, constellations. The Orion and Polaris are quite popular. Alchemist symbols are popular as well. We have a wide range of options to make your asshole look lovely while prepping for a good hard fucking. Yeah, no. Definitely out of my depth with the butt plugs. But the cunnilingus panties the shop owner describes next sound interesting to say the least. Tripp never went down on me, claiming eating pussy wasn't his thing, which is obviously another reason why Jan thinks that breaking up is good riddance. A little shiver works its way up my spine, and I think that if I ever found a guy that isn't weird or a total loser, I'd love to experience the real thing. I know I've got the whole BJ thing down, but it would be nice to be with someone who returns the favor for once. My eyes drift toward a shelf with really realistic looking dildos. Those come in a variety of sizes. Is this your first? You might want to start with a smaller one and work your way up. The lady advises me, and I nod. Jen said my dates are disastrous because I'm too tense and I need to relax. Maybe a vibrator or the panties would take the edge off my pre-date jitters. She agrees. Hell with a good vibrator and pussy eating panties. You won't need a date. Amen to that. She advises me to start small and work my way up, but all of a sudden I feel really awkward and begin backing away from the counter, excited and overwhelmed at the variety of ways to get myself off on offer here. I almost reach the door, still feeling the shop owner's eyes on me. I give her kudos for not being embarrassed and mentally curse Jim for not warning me about what kind of shop she worked at. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. I take another step back. I feel silly to be this embarrassed, but right now I need to get out of here. The lady says something about sending something home with Jen for me, and I thank her, dashing for the door. Dang to my mother's strict upbringing, I should be totally comfortable with this kind of stuff, shouldn't I? I almost decide to head back inside, but then think that maybe it's better to see what Jen's boss sends over. I'll be taking matters into my own hands, I think, snorting at my own dorky pun. All right, last chapter. Hunks and tsunamis. My phone vibrates as I take the last spoonful of cereal to my mouth. It's a fucking Tinder notification. Shit. Apparently she doesn't mind cussing in her head, huh? I forgot to cancel my membership, I think, as I take a look at the screen. All of a sudden, my day starts looking up. What are the odds? This must be fate for sure. You haven't canceled it yet? Max grins, stepping into the kitchen with a knowing smile on his face and working an elastic band to tie his blonde hair in his typical man bun. Yeah, I forgot. Oh, wait a minute, that's Blake. Whoops. All right. Hunks and tsunamis, Blake. My phone vibrates as I take the last spoonful of cereal to my mouth. It's a fucking Tinder notification. Shit. I forgot to cancel my membership. I think as I take a look at the screen, all of a sudden my day starts looking up. What are the odds? This must be fate for sure. You haven't canceled it yet? Max grins, stepping into the kitchen with a knowing smile on his face and working an elastic band to tie his blonde hair in his typical man bun. Yeah, I forgot, I say, and then can't resist making fun of him. I don't need any chicks when I have you around with that long blonde hair and that fucking ability to multitask. Since you can do your hair and be a pain in my ass at the same time. He laughs, his eyes creasing as he pours himself a cup of coffee and comes to sit at the kitchen table. Ribbing each other mercilessly is our thing. We don't mean anything by it. I've been best friends with Max and Porter since we were kids, and I guess humor is our way to show our love for one another. Well, fuck. I've been debating if I should get a haircut. That Thor thing has stuck and it's becoming fucking ridiculous. I chuckle at his annoyed expression. Last Christmas wasn't the first time that someone called Max Thor when he rescued a girl at the local high school. The poor thing had a concussion, and when she opened her eyes and saw Max, she thought a Norse god had come to her rescue. She kept saying Thor saved her, and Max's colleagues heard her and thought it was funny, so it stuck. I really can't blame the girl because my best friend looks exactly like Thor. 6'7". Nina, that's way too tall for you, sister. Not unless you're going to turn into a monkey. 6'7", long blonde locks, and dark blue eyes. If that wasn't enough, Max looks like his body has been carved in marble. Even his abs have abs. And no, before anyone gives me shit about it, I don't swing that way, but anyone with eyes can see Max's physical perfection. Yeah, but it's fucking annoying, dude. Every time I get on a scene, every time I set foot at the hospital, no one really takes me seriously. They're more excited to be rescued by Thor than anything. I thought that if I cut my hair, maybe they'll quit. Maybe, I snicker. Thor, Max, works as an EMT, and he certainly doesn't need Tinder because he gets hit on constantly by men and women alike. I'm not ugly by any means, but I'm more quiet and reserved than my best friend. And I guess when I'm in my police uniform, I might look intimidating. So I get way less chicks throwing themselves at my feet. My phone vibrates again, and I finally open the app, paying full attention to whoever my latest match is. Holy shit, I can't believe my fucking luck. What? Max says, trying to crane his neck to look at my screen, but I move it out of his view. The match is the girl I told you about. I can't believe she's on Tinder. I look at the photo of the blonde beauty that walked into the police station a couple of weeks ago to file a complaint about being stalked. I wasn't the officer handling her case, but sure as fuck, I couldn't keep my eyes off of her the whole time she was at the station. I couldn't resist the temptation to look at her file, and I've seen her around town a few times, but I've been looking for a way to casually bump into her. I don't understand why you didn't just go talk to her that night, Max says, shaking his head. Dude, it was hard. She looked upset, and then my phone rang, and by the time I was done, she had left. I couldn't exactly show up at her place or follow her, right? She just filed a complaint for being stalked. Max chuckles again. Right. Because that isn't what you've been doing by trying to provoke a casual meeting. Yeah, but not in a creepy way, okay? I defend myself. But I'm not going to need an excuse anymore because she just messaged and we're going on a date tonight. Max offers me his fist bump. Way to go, motherfucker. Just tell me if you need me to stick to my room tonight in case you bring her here. I shrug but don't comment either. Wait. The reality is that I'm a little bored with meaningless hookups. I think I'm ready to find someone important, someone I'm excited to see, who shares my passions and ultimately my life. Fuck, I sound like a dating commercial, but really, that's how I'm feeling. I've been feeling. What about you, dude? I asked, grinning at Mac's running shoes. Did you manage to ask out your hot jogger? Mac shakes his head. No, dude. I don't know what my fucking problem. I swear, every time I see her, as soon as I think about approaching her, I get sweaty palms and a lump in my throat. I feel like I'm 16 all over again and about to ask the cheerleader captain to homecoming. I laugh at his statement and I wouldn't make light of Max's situation if him feeling shy weren't completely ridiculous. Seriously, it's uncanny how chicks flock to him like moths to flame. But I wouldn't be a good friend if I didn't at least try to offer him some words of encouragement. Come on, dude, let's make a pact. You talk to her and ask her out next time you see her. Come on, if my Tinder date with my girl goes well, we could double date. He sighs but nods, suddenly deep in thought. Yeah, maybe even triple date if Porter musters the courage to ask out the hot nurse he's been crushing on. Ooh, do we see the circle here? I don't tell him that my crush is a nurse too. Wouldn't it be funny if they knew each other? Silver Springs Memorial is pretty big, but not huge. So there's a chance that mine and Porter's crushes might even be friends. Yeah, if his mom stops trying to play matchmaker and leaves him the fuck alone. Dude, I agree. This is why I haven't mentioned that my girl is a nurse. Porter's mom is the head nurse at Silver Springs Memorial, and she's definitely bound to know my girl. Debbie means well, but she isn't discreet nor subtle, and if for some reason she didn't like my choice of girl, I know she'd totally get in the way. I know that Porter wouldn't talk if I asked him to keep quiet, but I swear that woman could extract information from a rock, and Porter has cracked one too many times under interrogation. All right, I have a few hours before I need to be back to be at work, so I think I'll go for a run. I can't wait to hear about your date, so wake me when you get home. Max claps me supportively on the shoulder before leaving the kitchen. I put my cereal bowl in the dishwasher and get my car keys ready to go to work. My phone buzzes again with a notification, and that's when I see the time. Fuck, I'm going to be late. I lock up quickly and get in the car in a rush. It rained last night and the streets are still wet, but it's Saturday morning and people must still be waking up, despite it being already mid morning. So there's very few pedestrians out and about. Good. I think speeding, but making sure to keep under the speed limit. I might be a cop, but our chief has been adamant that we need to lead by example. So getting a ticket wouldn't look good if I want to get that promotion to detective. Fuck. I curse as I brake hard at a light when I realize that the light is already amber and I won't make it through the pedestrian crossing before it turns red. I'm about to mow down a jogger in tight leggings and a tank top. I stop just short of hitting her, but it's in the middle of a puddle, huge puddle. So while my car doesn't touch the woman, a wall of water literally comes down on her. I get out of my car to check on her, an apology already on the tip of my tongue. This is going to be a good book. It's already looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, ladies. So it's free on KU. I want to say it's $2.99. store. And $3.99. And I apologize. Yeah, it is on Kindle Unlimited. It's on KU, and it is $3.99. So tomorrow night we have Raven Storm's book. Whoop, 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 whoop. So be here tomorrow night, same time, same place, and we'll read probably. Is this another dragon book, Nina? Or what was hers? Hers will be good either way. Whatever it's about, it's going to be good. Chance and Sage. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a good night. Get some rest. I know I will. And happy reading. Love you guys.